Yo guys, Spiderbot here. We're bringing the tactics back to NGT, baby. Black Ops 2 map mode tactics. We're looking at Search and Destroy on Raid. We're going to be doing this twice a week, looking at different maps and different game modes. Not necessarily all Search and Destroy, but here today, obviously, we're going to focus on that. We'll be focusing on rushing tactics. I like to stay on the move typically. I don't like waiting for enemy players to come to me. I like creating my own opportunities by using the element of surprise and flanking the enemy players. Okay, so let's take a run through of the map, and Treyarch has set up a lot of these maps very similar. Typically, you're seeing 3 routes available to us. We're going down the left side here. There we see the A target, and the left side rush on defensive spawn is the one that I generally like to take. It does provide us with some opportunity for that element of surprise as well as flanking, as I was describing earlier. We're going to make our way over to the offensive spawn, then come back down the middle. This middle section can get pretty dangerous, and therefore it's a risky route when rushing from both offensive as well as the defensive spawns. You'll get a lot of snipers that rush to those open door areas and snipe across the opposite sides from both offensive and defense. Now moving along the right-hand side from the defensive spawn, you've got a building on this side that is good for sniping, as well as that building. You see the window on the opposite side. Rushing through there, we saw the B target on the left-hand side. And this is actually my preferred route when running from offense. When I do my offensive rushes, I'll come down that right-hand side, left-hand side from the perspective of the offensive player. All right, now that we have a decent map overview, I'm going to get into some of the rush routes that I run with the variations. So let's get started. We're going to begin with the defensive spawn side here. Okay, going to start off with my favorite rush here on Raid Defense. That is along the left-hand side. Now, the goal of this rush is to come up the stairs towards the middle area while the guys are busy fighting from either side. You might have a sniper up here, you might have a guy with an assault rifle or whatever. We want to surprise them while they're shooting at our teammates on the opposite side. So we do catch one guy here. The guy with the assault shield drop back. We end up catching him as well, and there's another player inside that building. We're going to run the exact same rush a couple more times. This time we get a sniper sitting up here and a guy who's waiting around trying to knife us as we round the corner here. I don't think so, buddy. Again, these rushes give you the opportunity to then flank to either side. You can go around and flank them on B side or on A side. Okay, last time on this rush, we're going to come up here again and catch yet another player up here. And this rush also gives the opportunity to catch AFC players who are away from their controllers and are just in the spawn location. Nice little present for you. Alright, so here's a variation of that left side rush. This time we're not going to go up to the middle area. We're going to hug the right-hand wall and come around on this left-hand side towards the enemy spawn. Here we happen to run into a guy who's just sort of camping it out in the shadows there, and another guy, I don't know what the hell these guys are doing. Why are you even playing this game? I have no idea. Anyways, let's check out a second example of this rush. This time we're going to flank an enemy player who goes up into that top area. Typically, you'll get snipers up there. Sometimes you'll run into shock charges or claymores or Bettys, etc. So you got to watch out for that. Now, I immediately jump down because I'm afraid there might be another enemy player that's coming up behind me. But I do catch that guy up on the left-hand side of his spawn behind the glass. Third time for a rush again. Once you've completed these rushes, you're free to flank the enemy players either down that middle area or on the B side. But remember, always check out the spawn because a lot of cases, this guy's still in the frickin' spawn doing whatever, like that guy who was spinning in circles. Look at that guy. Again, another guy just sitting in the shadows there waiting for players to run by. And we catch another guy in the spawn area who just took out our teammate. And then we're going to come in and try and flank any players that might be up there at the B target. As mentioned previously, I don't like the middle and right-hand side rushes here on defense. I'm going to show you one anyway, and this is probably the best one down this right-hand side because it provides you with the most cover. And you can see straight off that the offensive team does have a bit of an advantage here rushing down this side, which is why I prefer rushing on this side of the map when I'm spawning in on offense as opposed to defense. Okay, so we're going to switch over to the offensive side and do some of these left side rushes near B target. The first thing I look at is the stairs on the opposite side just to see if I can catch a glimpse of an enemy player coming down there, and then I'm always looking over there as I approach the blue van. Once I get to the blue van, I'm looking down this side to see if there are any enemy players coming down the side of this building, and then my concentration is focused on this room up here. You can climb in this way, or you can flank them where I was, but I got shocked with a shock charge. That's why I came back around and climbed through the window. Okay, another variation here where we actually catch an enemy player coming down the stairs. That's why we're always keeping an eye on that side, and there's another player there before we look to that left side. I do take a few shots at this second enemy player, but I don't chase him because you never know if he has one or more teammates backing him up. Okay, number 3, variation number 3, we're going to come again, look down that right-hand side, and this time we do catch an enemy player coming along this left-hand side, trying to dolphin dive behind the blue van. One thing you do have to be careful of, though, especially with that blue van, is that it's a potential car bomb. If one of the enemy players does come in there and decide to throw a Betty down, you could be in some serious trouble. You can go prone and avoid the Betty, but you're not going to avoid the car bomb. Again, from this side, you can then proceed to flank enemy players down the middle or towards the A-side target. Last time here, we do catch another player. This time, he's not rushing in trying to dolphin dive behind that blue van. So I did want to provide some variation to you guys and show some middle rushes. The first 2 clips here are going to be rush plants on B target. Black Ops 2, it's very, very difficult to rush plant targets. The defensive side in most maps, the vast majority of maps, has the absolute advantage. Unlike previous CODs, there were several maps in previous CODs where you can actually get to the offensive targets very, very quickly, even before the defense can get there, but that's not the case with the vast majority of maps here on Black Ops 2. Okay, so we do manage to get 2 bombs planted fairly quickly, but again, you gotta watch from that middle position on the defensive side, because if you don't have offensive players that are holding them back, they can come right in behind you and knife you in your ass. Okay, so here we're going to go down the middle, and I do get one player here trying to get the sniper, and I kind of fail. He quickscopes me pretty good there, and we're going to try it again, and this is exactly why I don't tend to do this rush and try and take out those guys down that center position, because they have the advantage. They can see me coming in most cases, and unless I have some cover from my teammates down that far side distracting those enemy players, then I'm going to be in a lot of trouble. I did want to talk about one specific rush that I don't do and talk about why, and it's this right-hand side rush from the offensive spawn. And once you get to this position, you're kind of stuck. If you have players on the defensive side that are sniping, they have the advantage. Again, I like to run the routes where I have an advantage. I can create angles between myself and the enemy players. There are no angles to be created here. You have to come in around here. You can jump over this, whatever you call this barrier that's right in front of us. You can jump over that, or go around it, or go around the opposite side. Either way, they've got, the defensive side players have long lines of sight on you, whether they're sniping or they're using assault rifles or whatever. You have and are at a severe disadvantage, and that's why I don't like running rushes where you're at a severe disadvantage. It makes no sense. And, can it get boring on certain maps? Yeah, I mean, these the maps are designed in such a way that for rushing, again, you have typically those 3 pathways. You got the left side, right side, and middle. And in this case, it's very congested in that middle area, and depending on which side you're running, you're at a severe disadvantage because of the long sight lines. So that's just the way it is. That's just the way it is from a rushing perspective. So what we do is work with the best routes possible and create variations with them, surprise the enemy players, and create those opportunities not only for the element of surprise, but flanking them on the opposite sides of the maps or down the middle. So hope you guys enjoyed Search and Destroy Tactics on a Raid. Stay tuned for more, guys, and I think what I'll do is perhaps follow up these map mode strategy videos with the full game of that map and mode the next day. So I'm going to look into that. So hopefully we'll see a full game of Search and Destroy on Raid tomorrow, where we discuss these tactics further and show you the full examples in a full game. I'm Spider, and I'm out.